Welcome back to Scoliosis Day 10!
It's Scoliosis!
Today we're going to be doing two things, working on our strength, working on our movement within our scoliosis bodies. We're going to be doing the Schroth Walk and we're going to be doing a plank. So it is a little bit more fitnessy today. All you're going to need today is yourself and maybe a yoga mat that can make a plank a little bit more comfortable, but you can also just do a plank on the ground, maybe with a towel or something underneath your elbows, because I mean a hard floor, that's not the most comfortable. So let's get started. We're going to start with the Schroth Walk, and before we get going with that, I just want to make sure that we are aware that we're trying to hold ourselves really lifted when we're doing our Schroth Walk. We're trying to elongate the body as much as possible, because when we're walking, we're trying to hold ourselves out of our scoliosis pattern as much as possible, and that is more difficult than it sounds, because with scoliosis we tend to walk a little bit funny. I don't want to dive too deep into that now. I want to keep these videos short and sweet, but I'm going to do this facing you to start, and then I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. But we're going to start with the hands on the hips. We're going to push the hands into the hips to find length in the spine. We're going to pretend we have a little bit of string, and that little bit of string on the crown of our head is lifting, or you have a little Santa's hat and that's lifting up towards the ceiling, and that's going to hold that elongation. It's going to bring you out of your cob angle, not 100%. It's going to bring it out a little bit, but we're decompressing the spine. We're getting space into the concavities when we're doing this, and that's very important. So if I turn from the side, we're going to keep the hands on the hips. We're going to make sure that we're keeping the hips level as we're walking. We're not letting them shift off to the side or the hip hike up towards the rib cage any more than what is natural for walking. Then we're going to step forward. And I'm going to give you the option, you can keep your feet flat down on the ground, or if you feel like you've got the control with the balance, we're going to inhale, come up onto the tiptoes. Then you lower the front foot forward, you step the next foot forward, and then you inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes, you exhale, lower and slide. You don't need to do the tiptoes, you can just walk. I want you to go really slowly, just going as far as you can, and then you can turn around and keep going. And just feel your body. Can you feel your hips as you're walking? Can you feel the tissue around your hips as you're walking? Do you notice anything? Do you want to shift to the side a little bit? Does one hip want to hike up a little bit? Just noticing all those things and trying to stay as central as you can. Reassess your scoliosis. Are we staying as lifted as possible? Are we squeezing the tummy muscles? Are we still pretending that that little Santa hat is pulling us up towards the ceiling? We're going to go a couple more walking steps. Please do try and walk with your breath as well, especially if you're coming up onto your tiptoes. You inhale to rise, you exhale to lower and slide, you inhale to rise, you exhale to lower and slide. Let's do one more, and then slowly come down and just shake it out. Then we're going to come down into a plank, and this is strengthening our core muscles, it's strengthening our back, it's strengthening our shoulders. There's so much going on with a plank. We're going to do it from the knees. So we're going to come down onto the elbows. Elbows are underneath your shoulders. You're on your knees and your hips are in line with your head. And you're going to push the ground away from you through your elbows. You're going to squeeze your tummy muscles really hard. You're keeping the head lifted so it's not collapsing down towards the ground, and we're holding here. Squeeze your tummy muscles. And one thing I like to think about is pulling the elbows towards the knees, because that's going to help create a little more feeling in the core muscles. Whew, holding it here. Let's go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oof. Good. Okay, let's come back into a little puppy pose so we can tuck the back toes under. We can reach the arms out in front. Send the hips halfway back between your knees and ankles, and just take a moment to elongate your spine. Big deep breaths through the back of the body. One more big inhale. And then we are going to come back up and we're going to cycle through that one more time. So, feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips. Push the hands into the hips to help create length. Squeeze the tummy muscles. And if you want to make it a little bit more difficult this time, you can take your hands into the Schroth hand position. Only if you can hold yourself elongated without your hands on the hips. If not, keeping your hands on your hips is perfectly difficult enough. And let's go. Stepping forward, maybe you keep the heel down, maybe you come up onto the tiptoes. You go really, really slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. The slower you go, the more difficult it is. We don't want to be rushing through this movement when we're trying to teach our body a different way of walking. It's reprogramming the biomechanics, creating new neuromuscular pathways in your brain about walking and holding yourself, elongating and not shifting into your pattern, not letting one hip hike up more than the other hip, and just noticing how your body moves. Noticing if this is difficult, if it is easy. If it's easy, I think you're doing it wrong. I've been doing this for years and it has always just been difficult. Ooh. Remember to move with your breath. I'm going to do one more lap to the end of the mat and back again. Keep checking that your little string is pulling your head up towards the ceiling and that you're using your head to keep length in the spine. We're almost there. Last little push. Can you get a little bit taller? Can you get a little bit longer? I'm going to do one more step. And then we're going to finish off coming down into our plank. One more time, coming down, elbows underneath your shoulders. You can walk the knees back. Getting ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go 20 seconds. Push through your elbows so you're protracting your shoulder blades. Try and have the hips in line with your head. Make sure that your head is not collapsing down towards the ground. Squeeze your tummy muscles really, really hard. Think about pulling your elbows towards your knees. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, slowly come up. We'll do that puppy pose one more time. You tuck the back toes under. Send the hips halfway back between your knees and your ankles. Reach the arms out in front. And breathe. Nice. Big deep breaths to the back of the rib cage. Taking a moment to let the breath slow down. get one more big inhale. And then slowly, we are going to bring ourselves back up to standing. Well done. We're going to take a moment just to finish our little scoliosis session today with some deep breaths. So let's take the left hand to the heart, the right hand to the belly. Maybe close your eyes and let's get a big inhale, breathing into the chest and the belly. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale, breathing into both your hands. Exhale. And then one more big inhale. And exhale. Good. Well done, my beautiful, beautiful scoliosis friends. Congratulations on completing another day of Scoliosis. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.
Guess who forgot to say the word again? Third and final word is moon. So write that down. You should have all three now and good luck in the competition.